No. Bueno, el, el video anterior, como tenía demasiado contenido de... Well, I'll do it in English then. Then, fuck it, we'll do it live. We'll do it live and we'll do it in English, okay? Uh, this is my... This is my theory response. This is my theory for Westworld. What Westworld is. It's right now, today is... It's November 26th. And by now it's episode 8. It's the newest one that was aired last week, like last Sunday, and I think what's that, Saturday today? Yes, tomorrow. That's episode number 9, and there's two more episodes right now. So this is my theory, man. I don't know, nigga. I'm tipsy. I'm a little drunk, but let's do it like drunk history. This is what I came up with. Okay, so first of all, my theory is that all of them, they're all replicants, because that's how you have to call them, because they are replicants. They are the same thing. It's the same philosophical bullshit about what makes us us, because it's just repeating and repeating and repeating the same thing. It's what makes a human. What is a real human being? What it's real. It's only because it thinks. If a human being it's a human being because it feels, because what is this experience that we have, or we call life? Is it real, or is it just a fucking simulation? And what I was talking about is that if it was a simulation, I wouldn't feel what I feel. You understand? And that's what makes me human, and that's what makes the replicants human, because they can feel, or at least they can show feelings. But that's the thing. I can only say that for myself, because I know the only person that I know from the inside, and that's been here in this body my whole life, is me. And I feel pain, and I feel love, and I feel, and that's what makes me me, because that's the whole point of the series, and all of them series, they are all interconnected. Lost, True Blood, Alice in Wonderland, everything. The thing is that everything is connected. That's the whole thing. What makes us us? If we are in a simulation, the whole thing. Okay, we are in a simulation, and we are inside of a big computer program. But that doesn't change anything. We're still bounded by the same rules, the same laws of physics, and we are binded by the same rules that, the rules that makes us human, the respect for one another, even if that other, it's a replicant or it's a machine. That's the whole theme about being thankful, about Thanksgiving and all that stuff, you know. Even if this computer, it's a machine and it's not sentient, it's giving me a service, and I'm grateful for that service. And even yeah, it's respect for everything, not just being politically correct, but really being grateful. Say, you know something, thanks dude, or hey computer, thank you very much, you know, because you feel it. You say, you know, if I didn't have this computer, I would have to in my research and all my studies and all that stuff, I will have to go to some library or stuff like that. And the service that it brings me, it's a great service. And this computer and the whole internet and the whole thing has helped me a lot in learning in learning who am I and what I'm made of. And because of that, I'm grateful for technology, and I appreciate it. I don't abuse it. I appreciate it. And if one day my computer breaks down and I'm not able to repair it, and I don't have money to buy another or to repair my computer, then I won't have a computer anymore. Or I won't have a cell phone or stuff like that. But in the meantime, thank you very much, computer. You have been a great service this whole time that you've been with me. You understand? Same thing, you know, being grateful with your parents because they deserve it, because you love them so much. It's the same thing. It's that's why that's the maze you have in the maze of Westworld. You're looking for yourself. That's why people find their real self, or their real self comes out when you're in that park, when you're in Westworld. That's the whole thing. And what Westworld wants to do, Westworld is a sentient being, for example. Like, I don't know, like the planet, like Earth is sentient. It's a sentient being. The park has a, you know, Arnold. That's my theory. Arnold, it's the mainframe. It's every one of the hosts, the guests, the employees from upstairs, all of them, they're all replicants. They're all replicants, and they're running a simulation in order to, by means of stress, by stressing. That's why the Men in Black wanted Maeve to or in this case, he wanted them to put on a fight. Or it wasn't Maeve, it was Dolores. That Dolores in Spanish means pains, feelings. That's what makes us. That's why don't take those memories away. If the pain is all I got, you understand? Dolores is all I got. It's showing us ourselves. It's like that series that what you call it, that the English series Black Mirror. It shows you the black side of yourself. If you see yourself in those images, for example, or in those stories, it's showing, the system is showing you. It's showing you yourself. It's the system or those programs or those, they are trying to bring out the humanity in you. They all are asking, who are you? Know thyself. You cannot answer that question if you don't know thyself. A little bit of red wine here. Red wine. So, salud. Know thyself. So in this case, the man in black is there to find himself, his true self. William is there to find himself, to find out who he really is. The park caters to your every desire and your every need. What is your limit? It puts a big question. How about a place where there's no law? When there's no God? Why do you have, even if you're in a Western theme park, you still bring your convictions and your philosophies and your ethics to the park. You're not bound by the rules of the park. The rules is that there are no rules. There is no law. But you're not bound by that rule or that law. You are bound by your ethics, by your philosophy. And that park wants you to shoot him. The park wants you, the ladies at the Mariposa Salon, they want you to take them upstairs. It's your choice. That's the whole thing. If you wanna go into a great adventure and search for treasure, like one of the things that they don't publicize that much. How about if you just, for example, you make your own adventure like the Men in Black? You don't go killing everybody, but you, like, for example, you can go and I don't know, try find the tribes, the Indian tribes. I know, spend some time with them and stuff like that, right? For example, getting to know the people from the other town, from that little California Mexican town where the El Lazo, que El Lazo is not, it's a lazo, that in Spanish and in English is the same thing. The lasso, it's the same, like a tie or a lasso, the lasso, lasso of truth, it's the lasso of truth from which we call it, Wonder Woman, that they lasso you and you had to tell the truth. That's el lazo. A lasso, that's a lasso. That's a lasso. El lazo, that's a lasso. It's not a nut. It's not a loop. It's not that. El lazo, it's a lasso. A lasso. The, like, what you call it? Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. I know I said it like 5 or 6 times, but I just had to get it right. Yeah, I think El Lazo, the Lazo. Okay, that little town, getting to know, El Lazo's wife, his kid, and all the, I'm from, my last name is Sepulveda. It might be there, might be Californians, and much of it might be Sepulveda too, and stuff like that. Have a great conversation. They might have a lot of stories to tell. For example, right, right. But that's the thing. No, I have a lot of stuff over here. I know, but at the end, it's that it's a search for oneself, and in this case, that park, it's a sentient being, and it's building replicants and running a simulation in order to bring to create a humanity in a machine, or in this case, because they're very interested in the intellectual property, but mainly in the code, because you are talking about simulating the code, a genetic code that helps us learn. The program that is embedded in DNA that allows a human being, not just a human being, a dog, because dogs learn too, animals learn, and all that stuff. What's that code, and where does that code starts in the code, the DNA code that programs us, the program that we come from the factory default, that you have to learn. How do we all learn? That's the whole thing. Why do we need to learn? You understand that? So that's the main thing. That's why, for example, somebody from the outside, when they ask for the maze, the system says the maze is not for you, because you are not a replicant. But in this case, because the show is built like that, like the replicants, they're not bound to any law, so they can lie too. So the series, the program, the show is not bound by any laws, so the show can lie to the viewer too. You see? So nothing is what it seems. The line that my world, when Bernard is reading to his kid, because in my world will be nothing will be what it is, and nothing is what it would mean. Something like that it says, right? But the thing is that nothing is what it seems to be. So the show has a bunch of levels, because there's a lot of winks to, for example, to 2001, the Arnold and all the whole thing. It's the same thing about the HAL problem, because it's a main computer that it's in charge of the whole thing, of the administration of the whole park, or in this case HAL 9000 was in charge of the administration of the whole trip, right? And dismissing, that's the whole thing, dismissing not just something like a robot or stuff like that, but just dismissing something that you think that is a lesser being than you. It's the same thing about slavery and or your perception about other cultures, that just because we're brown we are bound to serve or be in slaves, or be just because I'm Mexican I am bound to this being desperado, or like, I don't want to repeat stuff that people say about Mexicans, but just because I was born in Mexico doesn't make me the stereotype of for example the stereotypes of the Mexicans that there are in the show, for example, right? And I don't mind that, because it's not for me to decide how shows portray something that people identify me as. You understand? That's the whole thing. Put yourself in the shoes of the replicants. Put yourself in the shoes of the people that serve you. Because at the end of it all, we're all here to serve somebody else. We always, I do service for my mom, for my dad, for my aunts, for my family. I provide a service. I service them. And I service my neighbor. I service with a smile to the guy that drives the bus when I take the bus downtown or stuff like that. You understand? That's the whole thing. Respect. Giving thanks. Like Thanksgiving. Not just thank you for the no, thank you for the sun, thank you for the good times, thank you. Hey, remember that dude last year? Hey, I didn't say thanks, but thank you, dude. At least. At the end of it all, in this theory, and trying to bring out the human being, that program that makes us human, well, it's just about giving thanks. Thank you for the good times. Thank you for the bad times, because I learned a lot from the bad times. Thank you for the mistakes. In this case, like Ford said. Oh, that thing too. It's connected to Brave New World. Ford. The T Ford, and Bernard, like Bernard from the Brave New World and stuff like that. Right. They're making people, and there's a Ford. The assembly line, right? They're all connected, and that's why it has so many levels of perception and understanding. That's why it's about data. It's about information, having information. That's why it's very easy to see it as a like a role playing game, a tabletop role playing game, theater of mind and stuff like that. It's if you are an RPG player, you will understand a whole different story, a whole different stuff from the series, from the show. It's because it's It's the same thing. For example, in this case, you can compare it for Westworld might be or would be like the Forgotten Realms or Everon or stuff like that. It's a place. It's a land that was created. Imaginary was created, and you can with the theater of the mind, you can go to this place to the Forgotten Realms or to Eberron, different places, different worlds that exist in role playing games, and you can. I've been for the last, I think it's been for the last year and a half. I've been studying game theory and role playing games, stuff like that. Because of the variables, because of the variables that there are because the whole how everything is composed as in is composed. That's why it's have you ever, they ask them all the time, have you ever questioned your reality? That's what they ask the replicants, right? Have you ever questioned the meaning of your reality of your reality? And that's the whole thing. What is real? What makes us, what is energy? E equals energy equals mass times the speed of light squared, right? What what is that, and what is quantum physics? Hold on. What is reality? What makes us what we are? It's what is why do we need to breathe air? Why don't we just take the our energy or our oxygen from water, from the water that we have in our bodies? How does our body work? How does reality work? How does these the electromagnetic force or fields work? How does gravity work? How does all that stuff work? Right? It's a very big philosophical, and for me has been a great philosophical ride in the search of myself, of and knowing who am I. In knowing myself. So I can differentiate my voice from Arnold's voice. And from my voice to your voice. The moral of the story is find thyself. Because when you find yourself, then nobody will tell you who you are, because you will already know. And that's it. So that's my theory. We all are replicants in a big synchronized dance. And we always moving into the future. Salud.